Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any items that board members wish to move from consent to action? Dr. Moore, do you have anything that you would like to add to action?
I do not have anything I would like to move to action, but I would like to, with the board's permission, move action item, I believe it is, let me find it, A, to be heard prior to the presentations this evening.
Can I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote is 5-0. Dr. Schiff. All right, Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Barefoot. Our first presentation is an honor for me to set up, and at this time I would ask for Dr. Jones, who's already made her way over to the podium. This item will recommend to the board that the Sebastian River High School Gymnasium, in memory of William Billy Henry Wilson III, an educator, coach, and administrator for our school district, that location, those buildings be renamed in his honor. And we are thrilled to have the opportunity to acknowledge and memorialize a legend in our county. Here today with us for this presentation, Catherine Wilson, mother of Billy Wilson, William Wilson IV, Wesley Wilson, those are two sons, Yolanda Lucas, sister, as well as Brandy Lucas, niece. I'd also like to acknowledge members of the dedication committee who are present. Principal Christopher Cummings, Tyrone Perry, Tony Fleming, Ron Freeman, Kevin Van Bremer, Beth Wargo, and of course, Dr. Peggy Jones. I'd also like to acknowledge dedication committee members who weren't able to be with us this evening, Dr. Catherine Parandozzi, Terry Amy, Christopher Jefferson, and Keith Matthews. At this time, Mr. Chair, I will turn it over to the podium where we have Doc Jones and Principal Cummings for a presentation of a resolution, and then short words by each of them, as well as opportunities for remarks from the family. Dr. Jones.
Thank you, Dr. Moore, and thank you, school board members. As many of you know, we lost two great men from the same family within about a month of each other. To say the least, it rocked the community and school district. Coach Wilson Sr. was a legend, and rightfully so. The track at Vero Beach High School was named after him. He mentored and coached more students than anyone could imagine. He gave his life to Indian River County. Now tonight, we honor his son, William Billy Henry Wilson III. Billy Wilson was loved so much by his family and many others. Shark Nation misses his smile, his passion, and his love of Sebastian River High School each and every day. School Board of Indian River County, Florida, resolution number 2021-06. A resolution of the School Board of Indian River County, Florida, regarding the naming of the William Billy Henry Wilson III Gymnasium and basketball court at Sebastian River High School. Whereas William Billy Henry Wilson III served as an educator in the school district of Indian River County, Florida, with distinction for more than 34 years from 1986 through 2020. And whereas William Billy Henry Wilson III was part of the first administrative team that opened Sebastian River High School, where he served as assistant principal for 26 years. And whereas prior to his service as assistant principal, William Billy Henry Wilson III worked for 8 years as a math teacher, PE teacher, driver education teacher, football coach, and track coach at Vero Beach High School. And whereas after his retirement in 2020, William Billy Henry Wilson III continued to support public education in Indian River County, and whereas the School Board of Indian River County, Florida, desires to acknowledge and commemorate the tremendous impact of William Billy Henry Wilson III on public education.
Now therefore, be it resolved by the School Board of Indian River County, Florida as follows. 1, the Sebastian River High School gymnasium and basketball court of the School Board of Indian River County, Florida shall hereafter be named the William Billy Henry Wilson III Gymnasium and William Billy Henry Wilson III Court. 2, the superintendent is hereby directed to take all appropriate actions to implement this resolution, passed and adopted by the School Board of Indian River County, Florida, on this 8th day of December 2020.
School board members, can I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion?
I'll second.
Mrs. Masario, second. Ms. Desplin, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Dr. Jones?
Yay.
Mrs. Barrenborg?
Yes.
Mrs. Rosario? Yes. Dr. Schiff?
Yes.
Mr. Barefoot?
Yes.
The vote passes with a 5-0.
If anyone else that's here would like to offer some comments from the public, you're more than welcome.
Yes, I would.
Thank you.
I'm honored to be standing here representing an educational institution as great as Sebastian River High School. I believe it's no small or insignificant or unimportant thing to intrude upon this time in our life or upon the attention of so many. We stand here today to pay honor to a man who has left an indelible mark on thousands of young lives and hundreds of adults spanning 30-plus years of service to the students and community of Indian River County. Mr. Wilson was not just an employee of Sebastian River High School, he was Mr. Sebastian River High School. His constant inspiration to the students and staff members of Shark Nation drove those around him to learn more, do more, and become more. His perseverance, commitment, and strength symbolizes the ideal we work towards as professionals every day and personifies the courage and commitment to change that we use as a standard for everything we do. Billy, as many would call him, filled our campus with laughter and love for everyone, no matter the day, time, situation, or circumstance. He always seemed to pick out the best part of it as an opportunity to grow, as exemplified in this quote he always shared with others. In life, you will realize there is a role for everyone you meet. Some will test you, some will use you, some will love you, some will teach you. But the ones who are truly important are the ones who bring out the best in you. They are the rare and amazing people who remind you why it's worth it. William Billy Wilson III was one of those rare and amazing people who made it worth it each and every day, which is why the faculty and staff of Sebastian River High School is so grateful to the School Board of Indian River County for passing this vote to dedicate our gymnasium and court, which will make it clear that we will never forget the man who touched so many and inspired us all to bring out the best in us. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak to Mr. Wilson? Sure. Go ahead.
Wasn't really prepared to speak, but it's just a very special moment for me and my family. And I want to say thank all of you, and especially the committee that put this together. It really means a lot. My family served in the county as teachers, administrators, and even on the school board for combined well over 100 years, which is incredible. And I even got my start as an educator at Sebastian River High School and as a head coach at the same gym that will now be named after my father. So for me and my family, it means a lot. And we just really appreciate you guys, and the support from the community as a whole has been incredible. So just wanted to say thank you guys for what you guys have done. It means a lot. Thank you.
We do have remarks that were sent in by Dr. Parendozzi, and I would ask Ms. Maddox to read those at this time, and then I'll have some remarks, Mr. Chair.
Good evening. Dr. Catherine Parendozzi sent me some remarks that she would like to be read tonight. She is watching the meeting. Tonight, your proclamation honors the sincere and dedicated educator, coach, and administrator, William H. Wilson III. Decades of students, educators, and co-workers praise him in each role he held in the Indian River School District. Every employee should reflect what made him so beloved and work to emulate just a fraction of Billy Wilson in your daily efforts. His dedication to students is unmatched. As most in this community recognize, the honor goes beyond Billy Wilson, the educator. He is adored and excelled in his lifetime as a son, brother, husband, father, and friend to so many. Thank you for recognizing and honoring his legacy. It is an honor, well-deserved, and blessing to the Wilson family.
Thank you, Ms. Maddox. Board, in terms of next steps, we already have begun the work in commissioning the companies to come in and repaint the front of the gym, changing the name, as well as the work that needs to be done on the actual court floor. As soon as that work has been completed, we will have an unveiling ceremony at the school, which will allow more people to come in, feel the school, and stand in acknowledgement and praise of the work and impact that Billy Wilson has had on all of us. For the family, we do have a resolution for each of you as a keepsake, and it would be an honor for us as a board and a superintendent if you would allow us to present this to you and then take a picture with you. And prior to doing so, I don't know if there's any board members that would like to comment.
Any board members like to?
I would.
Go ahead. Start down here. Dr. Schiff?
This wasn't prepared either. I'm grateful for you all being here tonight. I am grateful for the person that Billy Wilson was. I'm grateful for the friendship that he proffered. Billy made sure that we were friends. And I have a thing about keeping some distance in the district to keep everybody sort of safe and a little bit at arm's length. And one of my big regrets is that I did that with Billy Wilson, and that I didn't get to know the man as well as many of you know him, that I didn't know until it was too late that the friendship he was offering me was irreplaceable. And that I wouldn't have that opportunity. And I'm so very sad about that because I think I missed something really, really big. And so he offered me his hand in friendship. He would text me in board meetings when he approved or disapproved. He made sure that we stayed in touch and that we had a relationship. And Mrs. Wilson, I think I've told you this, but it's because of you. Because when I was campaigning for office, Billy called me up one day and said, "My mother said I need to reach out to you. And I think we need to talk." And ever since then, we kept talking. And so I am so grateful for everything that your father, your son, your brother, everybody in this room is here because they had a relationship with an extraordinary man who never gave up on this district and these kids no matter what. And we are all so, so, so much better for it. So thank you for the gift that you gave all of us. Thank you.
Jackie,
Do you want to say something?
if Mrs. Berenberg would like to go first, that's fine.
What an appropriate honor for a dedicated shark. It's hard to think of Sebastian River High School without Billy Wilson on that campus. And he has dedicated his life to this school district. His family has dedicated their lives to this school district. And for that, we're forever grateful. And I know that there are educators out there that care about kids, and there are educators that do the right thing for kids, and then there's Billy Wilson educators that go above and beyond to make sure that kids are okay, and kids have a safe place, and kids are loved. And let's all be like Billy Wilson. Thank you.
Mrs. Rosario?
There are very few moments in the work, in the daily work of a school board member that are emotional and are personal at the same time. And though I did not know Mr. Wilson, Billy, Dad, your uncle, your son, your brother, although I did not know him personally, I knew him professionally, and he left an imprint. He really did. There are very few moments where you can see the impact of someone's life on an entire community. And Billy did that. He did that. He clearly impacted an entire community. I cannot even imagine his influence on your family. And your loss during this time, it saddens me. But as in this moment when he is a loss physically to you all, he is not a loss in the arms of his father. It's my understanding he is a believer. He was a believer. So we have to know. I personally do not like the cliche, he's in a better place. But he is filling the altars of heaven with that mighty presence that he had here on earth, even greater up there. So please know, well done, my good and faithful servant. He has done his work and his time has come. Remember him in your hearts as we will in ours. Thank you for this honor.
Well,
Dr. Jones.
You can go ahead. Bud.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to end with, as all the Shark Nation knows, whenever we think of Mr. Wilson, we'll always think of the saying, "You can't hide that shark pride," and will always, always be in our hearts.
Well, I guess I'm the only one up here that didn't know Billy Wilson, but I have to tell you, I heard a lot about him. And I've been involved in athletics my whole life, starting when I was a little kid, competed at a relatively high level in a couple of different sports. And I can tell you, I think more of life's lessons are learned on the athletic fields, the playing fields, just learning how to compete, how to win, and maybe more importantly, how to lose. So anyone such as Billy Wilson that has had the impact on the number of young people that he's had over the many years, think about a legacy. Think about, if you fast forward, those students, those athletes that he coached and mentored. Think about the stories that they're going to tell their children, the lessons learned from Billy Wilson. And those children are going to tell their children. And these are the kinds of legacies that will go on for years. So while I'm sorry I never had the opportunity, the pleasure to meet him, obviously, this gentleman has left an impact that will long be remembered, and long after all of us are gone. Dr. Moore?
Thank you. Nicely said. At this time, I would ask the family to come, and what we're going to do is the board will stand in between the two flags, and if we could have the family collect this is a copy of the resolution for your own records. This resolution will be blown up and then hang outside of the gymnasium for everyone for a lifetime to know the gymnasium that they're walking into. So this will be blown up, cased, and placed in front of the school. So at this time, we have one for each of you as you come to the stage.
We're not blocking them, are we? No. Okay. Mr. Bailey. Maybe.
Okay, everyone. 1, 2, and 3. Any more? 1, 2, and 3.
Indirectly, we see you. It's not like oh, there's one here. Sorry. It's fine. I just saw it.
Our next presentation for this evening is a new presentation that we are bringing to the board. It is an acknowledgement of hard work. It is called the White Glove Award, which has been presented quarterly to schools for the highest average of cleaning score since the year 2018. At the end of each school year, the top 3 schools and the top 3 custodians are recognized for their exemplary work. Each week, schools are inspected by our district custodial coordinator and trainer. These are intense inspections from ceiling to floor, using surface swabs to check bacteria levels in order to ensure our students are provided with the highest level of cleanliness within our schools. When this award was brought to my attention, I think we needed to bring it to the board so everyone is aware of the hard work of our custodial teams and our school site administrators. So to present this award for this quarter is our Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Scott Bass.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. It is an honor and a privilege to be recognizing these group of employees. To say this year has been an extraordinary year is an understatement. You all are tasked with keeping our campuses clean, which is a monumental job in itself. Then you add on the responsibility of disinfecting to keep our students and families safe, and you have really taken that on and kept up your level of cleanliness in our schools. So thank you for that. I am pinch hitting for Miss Ann Rybin tonight, so I get to announce the winners. And I don't know if y'all know who's in first, second, or third, but we're going to do this kind of suspense-like, okay? So our third place group. These group of individuals have been in the top 5 for over the past year. They are a strong team with an emotional attachment to their elementary school family, only wanting the best for their students. Last year, they finished second overall for the school and are starting strong again this year at a 92.84 cleaning score average for the first quarter. And our third place group is, suspense, yes, Fellsmere Elementary. So we have our head custodian, Marisol Mastiro, Iris Tosa, Rico Rodriguez Delgado, and Cliff Jameson. If you all would please come forward. Thank you very much. And we're going to, Kristen, are we going to get a picture at the end? Yeah. Okay, we'll get a picture. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Our second place group. This group has, again, proven to be a superior team. The school took first place in 2018 and finished 5th last year. They are constantly working to provide the cleanest and safest environment for their students and staff with an average score of 92.87 for the first quarter. I imagine we'll be seeing more of them this year when the awards are given out, but second place goes to Rosewood Magnet. We have head custodian Elba Mendez, Luis Escala, Alejandro Duarte, if you would please come up. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Break your award.
And last group to recognize is our first place group, and if you took a look at their principal, you would know who it is. Glendale is our Cinderella story. Head custodian Kiata Hudson was a custodian at Rosewood Magnet until she came to Glendale this year to become the head custodian. The school needed a lot of work to improve their cleanliness scores. With the custodians Joe Bariner and Nancy York at her side, the three managed to move the lowest average scoring school last year to the highest scoring school this quarter, with a score of 93.22. It has been amazing to watch the transformation of the school and see how proud everyone is at the school of their custodial team. So let's give it up again one more time for Glendale Elementary. Great job, guys. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. We also have Raven. She's on our team. Yeah. She comes and works daily. Raven. Okay, so sorry. Sorry. That's all right. So, all right, congratulations.
Thank you.
If we could all, we'll do the same situation that we did with the Wilson family. One group at a time from each school could go up behind the dais, and then board members, if you would stand in front, and at the end we'll do a group picture with all three winners. Okay? So, yep, go ahead.
You want to get up there? I mean,
Come on.
you wore the suit. You might as well.
Yeah, gotta get up there.
and gentlemen, now I'd like to say that this team works tirelessly. I've tried to beat Kieta in every day this year. I've only done it once. She spends so much time making sure it's safe for our kids and our teachers, and I am blessed to have her. So can we give her another round of applause?
To that?
One more step to the left.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Ready, everyone? 1, 2, and 3. One more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. If board members, if you would stay in place. And Calvary, would you like to come up now? Linda, if you guys would just move off to the side.
Oh, sorry.
Well, wait, yeah. There's Mr. E. There.
He's awesome. Wow. Oh, yeah, he's awesome.
Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and our last group. Still here to stay close, so we provide Glendale. Okay, Rosewood. Take a step to the right. A little bit more to the right. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. One more time. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Now Rosebud, stay there. Glendale and Belfair, if you come back up for the group picture. Glendale, yeah, you can move all the way down. Okay. Yes. And just position yourself around the flag, it's not blocking anyone. Okay? Ready? Everybody, 1, 2, and 3. One more time. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Our next presentation is the opportunity to acknowledge an individual who's contributed greatly to our organization. He's also our shining star for this evening, so it is a 2-in-1 presentation. Mr. Mike Murray began his employment with the School District of Indian River County in October of 2003 as a district electrician. He has served in that capacity for 17 years. In the year 2015, he took over on what he thought was an interim basis as the president of the Communication Workers of America, as we know as CWA. In 2016, he began his term as president, serving for the last 4 years. Mike has been instrumental in bringing a level of respect to the organization. He has been able to work with me in problem solving, to define opportunities to improve this deal, as we have done outstanding work over the last year. And an acknowledgement of the custodians and the cleaning teams at the schools that we just acknowledged is a reflection of the respect that we have for all employees in this district and the impact we all collectively have on students. Mr. Murray will not serve as president, as he did not seek a new term as president, but will serve as the vice president in the upcoming term and will continue to contribute greatly to those who he has been supporting for so many years. So although we're acknowledging him tonight, he's not necessarily off the hook in supporting us. So at this time, I'd like to call our shining star to the podium, Mr. Mike Murray.
Thank you very much. That's very humble. Yes. We had employee orientation interviews today, so I don't have enough time to print my speech, so I know I got more than 3 minutes, so I'll take my time.
Push the button, Mike.
Well, good evening, board members, Dr. Moore, school district staff. I stand here tonight with tremendous mixed emotions, but I've thought about this decision for quite some time. With the strong support of my wife and close friends and the backing of my executive board, I've decided to step down as CWA president of Local 3180. However, I will not be leaving the CWA leadership team, as I will be taking on the role as vice president, working together with our newly elected president, Maureen Weisberg, as we continue to grow and build our relationship with the district. When we took over the old CWA executive board in late 2015, our union was in dire need of new leadership. We had just over 200 members. We lacked the respect of our employees and administration. But with the hard work and dedication of our executive board, we increased our membership to over 450, gained the respect of our support staff employees, and obtained a more professional relationship with the administrative team. And this award proves it. When Kristen Maddox emailed me that the district wanted to award me with a shining star, I was humbled. I took on the role as president not for the fame, but because the employees deserved something better. They needed to feel good about themselves and to be recognized for the hard work that they do every day for our children. I wanted to make the difference in their lives and let them know that they matter. With the new leadership of Dr. Moore and his administrative team, I think we have accomplished this task. By standing here in front of you and receiving this award proves this. We have become stronger together, doing best by children. Now for our new president, Maureen Weisberg. Maureen joined us in 2015 as we were rebuilding our union, assisting with our custodians. In early 2016, she was elected as VP, Vice President for Custodians. And then in 2017, Maureen ran and won the position of Executive Vice President, where she proved herself for the past 3 years as a great leader and problem solver. And just recently, Maureen ran unopposed for the role of president. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our newly elected president, Maureen Weisberg, and thank you very much for this award.
Thank you, Dr. Moore, for recognizing our union president, Mike Murray. He's been phenomenal for the last 6 years, leading our CWA communication workers. His leadership, dedication, hard work in this historic moment has been phenomenal. I wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Feliz Navidad. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And this time I'll turn it over to Ms. Maddox for our school site shining star.
So it's not very easy to choose a school or an individual each month to receive the Shining Star Award because we have so many shining stars here in our district. However, one school stood out because of their service to our community last month. and that school is Gifford Middle School. And let me tell you a little bit about what they did. Gifford Middle School families and staff members held a Thanksgiving food drive for Sunset senior citizens. Ms. Darasaw and Ms. DeLisa filled bags. OTG Liquidation Center donated reusable shopping bags for the items. Ms. Moran's art students made handmade cards. And every resident at Sunset Senior Citizens received food items and paper products in their own individual bag. So we are very, very proud to acknowledge Gifford Middle School and their families and students and staff members for this act of community service. And Ms. Tasha Jones is here tonight to accept this. And I know that Ms. Jones' family, they did a lot of work as well, so thank you so much, and thank you to your family.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you all for acknowledging Gifford Middle School for this award. Welcome, Dr. Jones and Mr. Barefoot, to the school district as the new leadership for our school board. Like Ms. Mattis said, we have done a Thanksgiving food drive for the past 4 years, and each year for our food drive, we collect items and we deliver them to the Sunset Senior Citizens community, and it's a little bit down the street from Gifford Middle School. So all the families, the students, they bring in food items, and this year with a little bit of PPE included. It's very fitting for our 2020 school year. So they had, we included face masks, wipes, and paper products in the bags for our senior citizens. But to kind of sum it up, I'd like to read a thank you card that we received from one of the residents at Sunset. It says, Gifford Middle School students, thank you all for the surprise gift left at my door at 4285 45th Place in Sunset Apartments for Thanksgiving. There are so many lonely and elder folks that have no family, grandchildren, or people to help them. You students make me proud. The cards you made were very special, and some great artwork was included. Next time, could you sign your name? That would be nice. I have adopted all the students from Gifford Middle School as my own. Plus, you're my favorite school. If you don't get many thank you from Sunset Apartment residents, it's because they can't. So from me to you, God bless you. You did great. And that's the sign from Mrs. Nolan. And Mrs. Nolan sends us a card every single year after we deliver our goods to Sunset Senior Apartments. So this is the reason that we continue to do it. Thank you.
If we could get pictures of our shining stars up behind the dais, please. Whoever needs to go first.
Want us up on top?
Yes, please. Both of you together, and then we'll do individual. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Take one step to your right. Mike and Tasha, please. Thank you. 1, 2, and 3. All right. And individuals? Thank you. Here we go. Perfect. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Mr. Murray? Excellent. 1, 2, 3. Mr. Murray, would you stay there and let's get one with our new CWA, our incoming president?
She had an emergency.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
next time.
High schools open up very early in the morning, so.
Excellent.
That's it?
I took yours, right? Yes. Got it. Thank you.
Our next two presentations are very special presentations as we have the opportunity on an annual basis to acknowledge the best of the best when it comes to school site leaders, our principal and assistant principal of the year. Just prior to the Thanksgiving break, Cabinet and myself had the opportunity to surprise them at their schools. And I won't ruin the thunder for Ms. Maddox, But not only did we catch them both leading, we caught them both teaching, where the principal was conducting her intervention group, and the intervention was substituting a class, doing whatever needs to be done to give our students the absolute best. So this is just one of many presentations. We'll be acknowledging and celebrating our principal and assistant principal of the year. For the presentation, Ms. Maddox.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. So this is one of our favorite times of years because it's when we get to go out and surprise our teachers of the year, our employees of the year, and our principal and AP of the year. And it is just so much fun doing that. We were able to document the surprise for the principal and the AP of the year. As Dr. Moore said, Ms. Felice Hepburn from Treasure Coast Elementary School is the assistant principal of the year. And Mrs. Kim Garcia is the principal of the year from Citrus Elementary School. And we are very excited for them because they are just about to submit their packet to state, right guys?
Winner, winner.
Just about,
Winner,
and we
winner.
know, yes, we know we will have a finalist and even a winner this year. So we hope you enjoy our video.
So your principal, Ms. Garcia, was picked by all the other principals in the district to represent them for all the schools in the district to be this year's Principal of the Year. Yes, yes. Well deserved.
I can't speak much right now because I'm going to cry because I love you all so very much. Thank you very much. It's an honor.
Wait a minute. All right, so boys and girls, your substitute today, who's also the assistant principal, from all the schools in the entire county, has been selected to be our assistant principal of the year.
And the video reminded me of something really important I wanted to note, and that is that Ms. Hepburn and Mrs. Garcia were both selected by their own peers. They were nominated and they were voted by their assistant principal and their principal peers. So that's wonderful, and it just goes to show what an impact they have on their fellow peers. So if we could, let's see, we're taking a lot of pictures, but we love pictures, so can we take one more? Let's get both of you back there, please, since we have such a nice backdrop now.
Hey. We're in math.
Okay, ready? I took a picture of that too. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. One more. Okay, and 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much. Last but certainly not least, we have our Casual for a Cause check presentations, and we've been holding on to these checks for a couple of months. And we are very happy to say that we can finally present them tonight because we have some members here from the Veterans Council, and I know Jim couldn't make it. Would you please come on up? Thank you so much for coming tonight to accept the check. Dr. Moore? Oh. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Casual for a Cause, which I'm sure most of us are, it's each month we have an organization that's on our calendar, and our students, teachers, and staff members, they can make a donation to the organization to dress casually for a day. So the month of November, we honored the Veterans Council, and we fundraised for them. And our schools, our students, teachers, and staff members, we raised $2,787 that we are presenting to them tonight. And you would like to say a few words before I keep talking. There you go.
If you don't mind. I'm Colonel Carol Oates. I'm a board member of the Veterans Council of Indian River County, and I'm the leader of the Veterans in the Classroom program. And I'm here with Cynthia Ryan, who runs our Veterans office, actually, on a day-to-day basis. We are delighted to be here. We are privileged to be here with these people here. Just a little bit about us. Our whole mission is to support veterans in Indian River County. There are 15,000 veterans in Indian River County, and there are 25 veteran organizations which fall under us. We are the headquarters unit, so to speak, of all the veterans. Our focus is veterans helping veterans, so we have a lot of committees that do just that, especially now with the COVID situation. But for the last 5 years or so, I've been privileged to be involved and then one of the leaders of Veterans in the Classroom. I've been to almost every school in the county over those 5 years. This is a very, very different year. We've really only had a couple of events with the kids, a couple of different schools, one before school, one after school. But 4 weeks ago, I received a letter to my house from one of the teachers at one of the schools that we work with a lot. And in that envelope, there was a nice thank you note. And it said, "We miss you." And in there were pieces of paper, red, white, and blue, with little thank you notes from a lot of the kids. Those little pieces of paper now are hanging up in the Veterans office down off of 26th Street. And I told everybody in the council about it. The Veterans in the Classroom program give us an opportunity to do something a little different. We don't work directly with the veterans, but we work with families here in Indian River County. One of the things we do when we start a class, and we have several classes, we always ask how many children in the classroom have someone in their family who is a veteran. It's overwhelming. It's like 85%. And I personally and others have been struck by the respect and the ability for these kids to appreciate what we've done, and in turn, we get probably more out of it than they do. So we thank you for this opportunity. This is going to go and help veterans directly, and we hope that next year we're in the classroom. Thank you.
We definitely love the partnership that we have with our Veterans Council, and we weren't in school this year on Veterans Day, but we were still made sure that we were out at Memorial Island with our Vero Beach High School band for that celebration. It was an honor to be there. So thank you for that, Colonel Oates. And next, we have one more check to present tonight. This is from our October fundraising for Casual for a Cause. And unfortunately, Teresa Woodson is unable to be here to represent the American Cancer Society tonight, but she asked that we continue on with the presentation. Thank you. And we are happy to say that Our school district raised a total of $2,654 to present to the American Cancer Society, and we will be mailing that to them tomorrow morning. So congratulations. Thank you, school district, for raising the money. And that concludes our presentations for tonight. Thank you.
All right, well, that was fun. Can we do something like this at every meeting?
Absolutely.
I
We're
don't know
finally
whether
getting back to it.
I don't know whether the camera can stand the pictures of all, but at any rate, congratulations to all the winners, and congratulations to those who recognize their peers in such a positive way. The next item on the agenda is citizen input. I think we have 5 citizen inputs tonight, and I would just remind those speakers as I call them up that you've got 3 minutes, and please, respect the time. So our first speaker tonight, Jennifer Freeland.
Good evening. Although there are many things to be done yet, such as next year's calendar, teacher evaluation manual, technology continues to be the plague of teachers, getting a reasonable duty schedule for teachers, the use of planning time remains a thorn, teacher contract needs to be closed and ratified, most importantly, teacher salaries need to be settled, and the list goes on and is ever growing. We have so much work ahead, but this district and this union are still working with each other. We continue to work together, though it be contentious at times. We have not given up on each other and our mission to be best by kids. As many countries around us go to impasse and their relationships crumble, I want to take a moment at the last board meeting before the holiday to say thank you to the community who has shown the support of teachers and an overwhelming support of the continuing millage, to thank our parents who give their care and support tirelessly whether we want it or not, to the many district employees who often get overlooked in the mayhem of everyday fixes, to our students who continue to try day in and day out, to thank this board, new and old, for their belief in our students and teachers, even if we think what is best differs sometimes. You keep coming back. I would like to say thank you to Dr. Moore and his cabinet for the work they have done and their continued hard work as they try and make it right by teachers, so we, teachers, can in turn make it best by kids. For taking it on the cheek and remaining in support of our cause. I would like to share my deepest gratitude to the teachers who work before and after school, in the evenings at home, on the weekends when they could be with their families, in the shower, at the grocery store, and on the drive to work, who strive to make every day count and every child matter, who are often first to be blamed and last to hear a thank you, but you continue on anyway. I hope we will all have a blessed holiday and the best of the years to come. I celebrate Christmas, so my blessing is Merry Christmas, but I hope you enjoy whatever holiday it is.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jennifer Pippin.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jennifer Pippin, and I have 2 children in the school district, and I think everybody in this room knows me except for Mr. Barefoot and Mrs. Jones. I was not able to attend the last meeting because it was my son's 12th birthday, but we need to discuss this reopening plan. You guys didn't know what to expect and what to do when you first opened. Now we're almost a semester through, 2 quarters through. My daughter has been quarantined twice, and she's healthy. She never even had a sniffle. You're not there with her when she is crying because she's failing. We need to stop quarantining healthy children. Governor DeSantis said it, but because there's not an executive order, the health department can't do anything. You guys can't do anything. She's masked for 6 to 7 hours a day. The only time she's allowed to remove her mask is when she sits down for lunch. So if we have a burger and fries or pizza, whatever she's eating for lunch, mysteriously the virus vanishes. We need to make a change, and you guys keep saying that you're going to make a change and you're going to plan to make a change. Dr. Moore, you said in October to TC Palm you were going to discuss at the last meeting on November 17th. Thank you, Mrs. Berenborg, for bringing it up the last 30 seconds of the meeting. It's not on the agenda today, so we feel like it is getting pushed off again and again and again. The plan to make a plan is now. It's time to rip the Band-Aid off because our children, our only voice for our children is us. And also with the numbers, why are kids in virtual classes getting added to these school numbers? They are not stepping foot on a campus, not on a bus, not in a classroom. They should not be added to the numbers of our school's COVID cases. That's wrong. That's not right. It's adding to the fear, and it's inaccurate. Just as Jennifer Freeland mentioned, the teachers haven't gotten their raises yet. Again, a plan to make a plan that has failed. I know I mentioned masks. I could take either one of my children's entire class to Chili's or any restaurant in this county, and they wouldn't have to wear a mask. But in school, they have to be masked. Not one child in the United States has given a teacher COVID. You look at the Florida Department of Health, you look at the Department of Health website, not one. Not one child quarantined in the United States has tested positive for the virus that has been tested. The time to take off the masks, please, I implore you, is now. Don't plan to make a plan for our children any longer. Thank you.
The next speaker, Mary Miles.
Good evening. I don't have children in the school district, but I do have a granddaughter. When this started, we sent her to school with the understanding that it was only going to be for a certain amount of time. That time kept switching and changing and being prolonged and being extended. My granddaughter would come home from school every day for the first 2 or 3 weeks complaining of headaches. Most adults, unless you're in the service industry, are not wearing masks for 6 hours a day straight. And yet our children, who are probably the healthiest amongst our population, are being forced to wear it continuously, day in and day out. We pulled our granddaughter out of public school. I'm sorry to say, and she probably won't be coming back because we really can't get a straight answer. When we've emailed and continued to cite studies and research as to why these masks are ridiculous, and they fall on deaf ears. As Ms. Pippin said earlier, not one child has given a teacher COVID. And let's not forget that when you're testing and you have tested positive for COVID, doesn't mean you're in a hospital, doesn't mean that you even have symptoms. It just means that you tested. So when you lump all that together with numbers increasing, I find it very suspect. And I'm not happy about this. Her mom, who couldn't be here tonight because she's working, is not happy about this. And there's many parents that aren't. Unfortunately, they can't come at this critical time of the day during the work week where everyone's getting together for dinner and getting their kids ready, picking them up, taking them to practice or whatever. So no, they can't be here. But I know that you've gotten emails and you've gotten requests. And again, we implore you to please, please be done with this. It's not working. Thank you.
Last speaker is Larissa Packlin.
Good evening. My name is Larissa Peklin. I have a child in Indian River School District. From the last of the online videos, superintendent said that you are counting COVID cases with the students who has online education, who never ever step in the campus. Are you so desperately trying to make up your statistics? Or what does it mean? These kids are never been in schools. How do you ever know that they have COVID? This is ridiculous. And superintendent always in every video saying, we are doing great this job, we are doing great this job, everything is great, everything is safe. Let other people tell you all, is it great job or not? Because how many people are coming, parents with concerns? And parents are opened lawsuit against the school district in India. This is absolutely a shame for this school district. This is not a great job. This is not a great job if parents are opened lawsuit. Because efficiency of your work and efficiency is very low. Because the money that has to go to the children, to the schools, are going now to the lawsuit instead. This is not a good job. Please do not try to make up and say, oh, we are doing a great job. If you are sued by the parents, this is a shame. This is not a great job. You are trying to hide parental rights. You don't care about it. But I'm a parent, I have to choose for my child. I know again and again that there is no punishment for not wearing a mask, but you make me to go to the school and argue with the school principal, my child, with the school administration, let's say. I'm not doing that because I don't want to argue with them, and I appreciate them for educating my child. But you put me in this situation, and my child is first victim. That's why I'm not arguing, and I'm coming here every evening when you have a meeting. You don't listen. You're even sitting on your phone. Some of you, yes, so playing a games or what a disrespect to the parents. It's not the first time. You don't listen. You don't answer questions. And again, are we going always to open lawsuit? Always? And please let us know, because we need to maybe open another fundraiser or maybe even some fundraiser event to have money for future attorney works. Let us know, please. We need money. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next agenda item is approval of the consent agenda. There were no items asked to be pulled, so may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Vote is 5-0.
Mr. Barefoot, may I speak to that?
Sure.
There were a couple items that were on there that I wanted to draw attention to that we just approved. There were 2 donations from the Education Foundation, one to Indian River Academy and one to Citrus Elementary, so we appreciate that funding going to our schools. And also we had our annual audit. I'd like to say there were less issues this year, so thank you for providing principal responses, which I appreciate this year, because we have not had that in the past where we have an acknowledgement from a principal that when there's an audit finding, they are aware of what it was and they have an action plan to fix it for the following year. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Okay. The next item is we need to approve School Board Indian River County Resolution Number 21-05 for the transfer of real property. Dr. Moore, I will turn it over to you.
Hold on 1 second. That's to Mr. Bass, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, through the chair. This is a resolution that would transfer basically 4 pieces of small property to the Board of County Commissioners and also Rayall LLC. Rayall LLC was the group that donated this property for the construction of Liberty Magnet School, which was completed in 2004. There is a development that is planned to go in around Liberty Park, and these 4 areas would be used for landscape buffering and also right-of-way for the roads around that area.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
Move approval.
Dr. Schiff, second.
Second.
Dr. Jones. Mrs. Esplin, a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Thank you. Well, I'll now turn the agenda over to our illustrious superintendent.
I do not have a report for this afternoon, pending time.
Okay. The next item is a proposal for quarterly interlocal government cooperation meeting. Dr. Schiff?
Thank you. I raised this tonight because, as we all know, we can't talk outside of this communication. It came to my attention, it came to my attention recently, in part through an article in the paper about CARES Act funding and what the county commission was doing. And there have since been 2 articles, and the county commission has since made a series of decisions about that funding, some of which, gratefully, thank you, county commission, will come to us. In a conversation with one of our county commissioners, in talking about that, I became aware of an existing, an existing board, an existing council, the county commissioners, which is the Indian River County, I'm not going to say this well because I haven't read it, but in any case, there is a group of local elected officials who come together once a year for issues of land use, of which we are a part. In the 2 years that I've been on the board, I haven't been aware of this. The meeting didn't happen last summer, to the best of my knowledge, because of COVID. If the meeting happened the summer before that, either I missed it or we didn't report on it. We were in the midst of a series of crises in July of 2019 with a new superintendent, new interim superintendent, a new CFO, a finance department that was being reconstructed, and a series of things were happening at that time. The representative to that board would have been our chair at the time, who was Mrs. Zork. There was also one meeting in 2019 that I missed, and if it was discussed that meeting, I missed it. But I'm not aware that we've had a conversation about that particular meeting, number one. That brought to my attention the notion that there are many decisions happening in local bodies. We have the City of Vero Beach, we have the City of Sebastian, we have the Board of County Commissioners, we have the school board, and we're all making a series of independent decisions that actually affect our entire community, particularly as it relates to issues around COVID, as it relates to issues around business. As there are innumerable issues that affect all of us. And it occurs to me in this that we don't often talk to each other unless we reach out as individuals. Since I've been on the board, there was one interlocal meeting about health insurance that was sponsored by Mrs. Zork at the time. But I would like to have a conversation with this board about the degree to which you all see a value in creating some kind of, be it quarterly, be it semi-annually, I don't know the time frame, of coming together with other local elected officials to make decisions in cooperation with one another, in coordination, that affect the well-being of our community. And I'd like to open this up to discussion because it seems to me there are a series of things going on in Sebastian. There are a series of things going on in Vero Beach. There are a series of things that come up before the county commission. But we don't have an opportunity to come together and talk about how we as local elected government can make decisions in a coordinated way in the best interests of our community. So I'd like to open that up to discussion and get your input and feedback about that, because this is the only time we can have those kinds of conversations.
Ms. Rosario?
Thank you. Dr. Schiff, you bring up some good points here. If you recall, for the new board members, sometime last year, Laura Zork, our previous chairperson, organized and put together an interlocal governmental health. Yeah, and it was wonderful. It really was a wonderful opportunity for a lot of elected officials to get together and actually talk about options for, were you here, Dr. Moore? No, you weren't here. It was really a wonderful opportunity in here for representatives of different organizations in, obviously, the county commission, to really talk about what they're doing with regard to health benefits and providing health benefits to their employees. So it really was a nice opportunity. So I can see that. I can see us maybe taking it a step further. But my question is, and you may have done some research on this, how would creating a new committee be different from the one that's already formed?
Sure, I do know the answer to that.
I figured you would.
I do. The one that's already formed, this one here, that is led by the Board of County Commissioners and that is been in statute since 2004, is specifically and only for land use. So it only applies to land siting, and we are included because some of that affects local schools. It doesn't include anything else. So it doesn't include, for example, issues around CARES Act or around COVID funding. It doesn't include health insurance.
Health insurance.
It doesn't include
Workforce housing.
workforce housing, right? There are many issues that we as a board, thank you, that we as a board have talked about that we alone as a board are less likely to realize, to make happen, unless we can do this in conjunction and cooperation with a variety of local partners. So I think there are many issues. So this doesn't cover that. This, the members of this, and this meeting meets once a year in June or July at the County Administration Building, et cetera. This is all attached. And the members are the chair of the county commission, the mayor of the city of Vero Beach, the mayor of Sebastian, the council member, somebody from Fellsmere, the Treasure Coast RPC. That's
Regional Planning Council.
Regional Planning Council, the school board chairman, and the town of Indian River Shores. I think there are broader issues for a group to discuss, whether or not it's these individuals, because I think those of us who have been elected into positions of responsibility would benefit from talking to one another. And unless we reach out and do that as individuals, which we can do in individual conversations, those are far less productive than when we come together in the public, in the sunshine, in recorded meetings to have some of those conversations. That was a long-winded answer to your question.
Dr. Jones?
So, Dr. Schiff, you're talking about not the once-a-year meeting, but another meeting with different agendas with these people?
I'm talking about perhaps a series of meetings. I'm really just opening this up for conversation. We don't have to make a decision right now.
Right.
But I think there are issues that come up that are pertinent to all of these decision-making bodies. And when we work, when we are making different decisions, if, for example, the city of Sebastian makes a different decision than the city of Vero Beach, but we all know that people go back and forth between Vero Beach and Sebastian all the time, but there are different obligations, there are different requirements. This has particularly come up around current issues around, COVID and masking and what's required and what's not. But why it seems to me we should be having conversations about some of these issues.
I think it's a good idea. I think that either Dr. Moore or someone could talk to someone about this. I too talked to a county commissioner last week about CARES money, and glad we received some of that. And you know, whatever we do, we just have to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing, what our objective is, where we want to go with it. But I think it could be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's good. I don't think it's good to meet just to meet, but I think it's good to do kind of what we did last time when Mrs. Zork had an agenda. She had a specific point that we wanted to make, and she invited them to come and speak, and we learned, I think, more than we gave information. But I think something like COVID would be a good thing for us to have a inter-county or interlocal government meeting, whatever we want to call it. I also think like workforce housing, you know, when I sit on zoning and planning, I actually brought this up at the end of the meeting, the last meeting I attended. And I said, they were talking about future things, and somebody said, yeah, there's not a lot of places around here for people to live that's affordable if you're, you know, a working person. I went, that's what we've been talking about in the school district. Have you guys been listening to our meetings? So it would be nice if we had those conversations with others so they're aware, if they don't watch meetings with each other, you know, they're aware of what's going on. Because sometimes you're getting your information from news or, you know, news outlets or somewhere else, and you're not listening to it yourself from the meeting itself. And I think it's important that, you know, maybe a quarterly meeting where we just get together on topics that have been pertinent to our community.
The current chairs of all of these names, except with the exception, and actually, I have met the new mayor. I'm not sure how many elections they've had of Sebastian. They've had some challenges, but I know all these people. I've had to deal with them when I was mayor of the Shores, every one of the organizations. I happen to be friendly with the City of Vero Beach, the County Commission, Indian River Shores. Obviously here, I don't know. Is Jim Dodd still the mayor in Sebastian, or is it Hill? One of the two of them.
Yeah.
At any rate, I think it's a good idea, but the key is the topic, to meet for the sake of meeting. So I think that whether it's workforce housing, you know, you could consider, it could be a loose association. We could call it, I just wrote down, Indian River Council of Elected Officials, where each of the bodies that you want represented chooses someone to represent them. And they could choose a different person depending on the topic. For example, if the topic were workforce housing, not that the rest of us couldn't come, but you could represent the school district. And if it was COVID, you know, you could represent the school district.
You get that one.
Well,
Good luck with that one.
You started the conversation. I mean,
sure, I want that.
But I think it's worth exploring, and I am more than happy, since I know all of these folks, to, you know, to get in touch with them and see if they would be willing to maybe have a meeting around a timely topic for starters, and see if it has any legs.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Treasure Coast Council of Local Governments meeting, what they do there, and that's like also other counties, but what they do is you go around the table and everybody says what's happening, you know, what are the main things happening that you're dealing with that month. So everybody kind of gets a snippet of what the city of Sebastian's doing, what the city of Vero Beach is doing, what the city of Stewart is doing, and Okeechobee, and we're hearing things, and it's interesting because I've learned some things about, oh, I didn't realize they could do that, you know, I'm interested, and after the meeting, there's that time that you can go up to that person, ask other questions, so that's kind of an interesting thing to go to too. I highly recommend it because you're listening to other county officials about kind of what the hot topics are. So it was entertaining, not entertaining, sorry, that's not the word.
Interesting.
I will say sometimes it's entertaining. But, you know, when Sebastian was going through all the things they were going through, you know, I believe it's Ed Dodd, isn't it? Okay. And he was at the meeting and, you know, sharing as much as he could share about what was going on with what was happening up in Sebastian. And there were people that weren't aware of it because they weren't reading the news and everything else. So I think it's important that we are up to date on what's happening with other avenues of our community and how they cross over, because like the workforce housing was a good example when, you know, this was planning and zoning committee, so it wasn't county commissioners, but they're the representation of the county commission for planning and zoning, and they were talking about, well, you know, we got to look at this property and this property, and I said, well, how about that big elephant in the room down, you know, that's called a mall that we have. What's going on with that? And, oh yeah, that's true, you know, it's empty, and what are we going to do about that? So you guys are the ones that can help with that. So, you know, let's have those conversations. I'm all about doing that. But I think it needs to be with a purpose.
100% agree. Yeah, I don't think anybody, and most certainly Mr. Barefoot, does not want to meet for the sake of meeting. Sorry, had to say it. I'm teasing.
That's for sure.
No, of course,
Me too.
the object is that there are issues that concern us all, and it may be that as this fleshes out, this is our first conversation about it, it may be that different units lead the conversations in different meetings. There may be needs that each individual body has that other bodies can help with, can support, but we can't help if we don't know. So there are a variety of ways these conversations could occur. I wanted to open up the conversation and see how you all felt about it, if it was something that was worth pursuing. If so, I like Mr. Barefoot's idea, you know, that there are people he could reach out to see how they feel about it. I've reached out a little bit. And I'm happy to work with Dr. Moore to craft something moving forward if that's the will of the board.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
I think it's a great
I think
idea.
we're all better off being more informed, and even you think there's not a topic in common, as somebody said, you start to talk about what's going on in your particular world, all of a sudden, hey, you know, that's somewhat applicable to what we do or someone else. I think that some of these, I mean, I know that the city of Vero Beach and Indian River Shores talk a lot, sometimes it's with lawyers in between, but the county commission sort of overlays all of this. But between now and let's say January, let me reach out to Brackett and Fleischer, and Brian Foley's the new mayor of the Shores. Is it Ed Dodd? Do you think he's the current mayor in Sebastian?
I believe
How about
so.
someone from Fellsmere? Is there they have
The mayor of Fellsmere has been
Joel Tyson?
Joel Tyson for a long time.
I think he just lost in the election.
Well, I was on the Fellsmere Planning. We have a meeting Thursday night. He was listed, but I'll double check that. I'll know tomorrow.
And
I'm
then
happy
how
to
about
reach out.
Gifford? Does Gifford have
They don't have
some sort of a
independent,
body, per
they
se?
don't, because they're considered part of Vero Beach.
Is that it? All right.
But I can reach out, Jessica Salgado is the representative on this in Fellsmere. I'm happy to reach out to her. I'm happy to, I've spoken to one county commissioner. I'm happy to reach out to others. They may want to have their own conversation about it without interference from us to just decide what they want to do irrespective of what we want. But I think each of us has individuals in the community with whom we're connected who we could just feel out and see if they're interested in something like this, and if they have issues they think would be relevant to talk about that, again, we don't know about because we're not talking.
Well, I will, if you can get to me, you can give it to Mrs. Esplin, and she can get it to me, who the right person is, and I will touch base with all these other individuals, however they want to pursue. And meantime, let's, besides affordable housing or workforce housing, what other topics might be of interest to this group, and encourage the representatives from the other areas to come up with some, and let's try it.
Yep. Great. Thank you. Thank you for your support.
That was easy.
It was easy. I like easy.
So we now have being new to the school board member matters. Is that when each person has the opportunity to talk about whatever's on their mind?
Yep. Speak
Sort
our
of.
minds.
Relevant
Sort
to
of.
the school board and the work that we do.
I was going to say. Because relative on your mind could be, although it's early tonight, we have plenty of time.
We can have a lot of things on our mind. They don't all need to be discussed here.
All right, so do we want to draw straws as to who goes first, or Mrs. Rosario, would you like to lead this off?
I would love to. Thank you so much, Mr. Barefoot. As some of the most influential role models, teachers,
and educators in our school buildings are really responsible for the well-being and the growth of our children. Their academic enrichment is just a part of the growth of a child. The same is true for all of the other employees in a school building. The best educators are committed to their students emotionally, physically, and I was going to say spiritually. I didn't mean to say spiritually in schools. Emotionally and physically. And I want to, with that kind of introduction, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of the Employee of the Years and the Teacher of the Year candidates. Are we calling them candidates? Yeah. And a special thank you and congratulations as well to the principal and the assistant principal of the year. It's one thing to be selected for that award, for those awards on merits based on district leadership, but it's a whole other ballgame when you are selected by your peers. So to them, congratulations. To everyone, congratulations and thank you for all of your hard work. It's really an honor to have you serve the children in our district. I'm also very happy to say that I attended the Sebastian River High School recreation of Prism. I forget the name. Twilight. No. A Very Merry Twilight. It was called
Something about a twilight.
It was a Very Merry Twilight. It was a wonderful, wonderful presentation. Lots and lots of fun. So I'm so grateful that they were able to put that on. Dr. Moore, I'm assuming Peggy was a part of what I'm going to mention now, and Kristen, and if I fail to mention anyone else, please forgive me. But whomever was responsible for putting together the Thanksgiving luncheon, thank you. I don't know who I'm missing in that, but thank you for that. It was wonderful, a huge departure from previous years, even though COVID played a part in that, you know, putting us outside, but it really was a huge, a very nice party with DJ and food and lawn games, and I don't know whose idea that was, but it was fantastic. So thank you for that. It really, I think doing things like that changes culture. It changes the atmosphere. It makes people feel like you're happy to come to work, and I appreciate that. So big thumbs up for that one. College and Career Readiness Expo. I know these things are on our website, but sometimes it's really, really important for us to restate them during the meetings for those who are watching. College and Career Readiness Expo is December 10th. The first one is December 10th at Vero Beach High School. Very, very important. The next two are in the new year. And for those who, just in case are homeschoolers, you all are welcome as well to attend. And the Dance Inclusion Show this Friday, I'm looking forward to attending that. I've attended the last 2 years since I've been here on the board, and it's just wonderful. I know Vero Beach High School's holiday show is also this Friday, so I'm grateful also once again for the renaming of the gym today at Sebastian River High School in honor of Billy Wilson. And at that, I will just say, have a very, very, very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate Hanukkah, and happy holidays to anyone who celebrates anything else.
All right. I think the Vero Beach High School one is on Monday.
14th.
Yeah.
The 14th?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know I had a conflict, so I
stand
was like,
corrected.
I wish it was Friday because I could go. Dance Inclusion is awesome. So board members, if you've never been, you started it. It was awesome. So I can't wait to go again. It's really wonderful to celebrate our toy, oi, poi, and a poi. And those are our Teacher of the Year, Employee of the Year, Principal of the Year, and Assistant Principal of the Year. Those are our nicknames for them. It is exciting to be on the patrol bus, so don't forget about that coming up. And it was a wonderful tribute, I think, to Billy Wilson tonight, and thank you to his family for being here. I know that's hard. Thank you for the new sign on the dais. Finally, and not a blank wall to stare at, so I appreciate that very much. And thank you to our Indian River County Commissioners for the CARES funding, because I know we needed to pay some bills that we were finding money elsewhere because of, it's hard to be able to purchase everything you need to do with the dollars that we have. And also, there are bills already being submitted that are being tracked. And I was tracking them until today. So we'll see. I'll still pay attention to bills and give you some highlights of some interesting bills. But I'll see what I'm going to do as far as being the liaison and where I fit with that. And also the FSBA conference, for those of you that don't know, the board members attend a conference every year. Usually it's in Tampa. This year it was virtual. It was very interesting. It's always interesting. I think the trainings are good. The ability to discuss things with other board members is really important, because we can't discuss them with them without being here. But you can certainly discuss it with another board member across the state and say, how's it happening with you? And you can imagine the hot topics that came up this year that we were able to speak to other board members about. They did have, as we referred to this afternoon, as the speed dating round. It was the speed meeting round where you got to speak one-on-one with a board member from another part of the state for 3 minutes, and then they left the screen and another board member came up, and that was quite interesting because we were able to get some insights on some things that are happening all around the state, which is important. And it's been an interesting week, and I'd just like to give a shout out to my husband, who we lost his mom today right before the meeting this afternoon. So I just wanted to say I'm thinking about Johnny. That's it.
Okay. Dr. Schiff?
So yes to all of, the Twilight and the FSBA, and I won't belabor all of that. Loved all of it, looking forward to the ones that are coming up, won't belabor it. The only other thing is that when necessary, I go to the Sebastian Planning and Zoning, that's one of mine. I go to it when there's an issue that pertains to the school district. There was one 2 weeks ago. There's a new development coming up in Sebastian. I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but one of the issues, one of the things that they, as in all of them, look to is school capacity. We have more than enough school capacity to handle the amount that would go to Sebastian Elementary, Sebastian Middle, and Sebastian High School, so there was no issue there. We're at under capacity, and the impact was relatively small. It was a great presentation, actually, and it looks like a great development. Yeah, I don't have, my fellow board members have mostly said any accolades I might otherwise have said to all of the things that have already happened, so congratulations to everybody. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Dr. Jones?
Thank you. Special thank you to the school board for unanimously naming of the gym after Billy Wilson. I think most of you knew I worked with him 11 years when he was assistant principal at Sebastian River High School, and I was principal, and knew him for 25 years. And it's hard to say this, but I mean, anyone knows that he's truly a legend, as his dad was. So again, thank you very much. And a very special thank you to Mr. Bass, Dr. Moore, and Mr. Michael for moving that so quickly. I think one of the first things I did on November 17th was talk to Dr. Moore and Mr. Bass about that. But I mean, the name on the gym, the plaque, what it will look like outside the auditorium. Took a lot of work to do that in that short a time, and this community thanks you. Yep, that outdoor concert for Sebastian River High School was fun. The weather was great. Hopefully we'll be back to the regular Prism next year, because that's just wonderful. I got to judge a dunk contest for Crossover Mission this Sunday. I'm a mentor there for Crossover Mission outside, and kids, we were at Gifford Middle, and that was wonderful, and look forward to the Vero concert on the 14th. I would like to put on record that I won cornhole at the. I hadn't played that in a long time, and just like Ms. Rosario said, it was fun with music, and, you know, I went to 2,000 proms, so I know all the dances, but anyway, looking forward to the dance inclusion show at Sebastian River High School. We started that with our choral department, then we went to drama, and so wonderful. All the students at Sebastian River High School love attending that. Again, the FSBA was great. I always like to go to a conference when I learn a few things. And just a very, very special thank you to everyone in the district, our teachers, our administrators, our support staff, our district staff. I mean, this is a challenging year, no matter how you look at it. And, you know, education in general is challenging because you're working hard each and every day. But a very special thank you to everyone for doing their absolute best in keeping our students and staff safe. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I didn't attend any meetings, but what I would like to do is thank my new fellow board members here. We had I think, a very productive workshop this afternoon, and I think that this board has the potential of being, you know, very effective. I think we're all on the same page, and whatever differences we have are the kind of differences you want to have. So that we all want the same thing, but how you get there sometimes matters. And different people with different points of view, as long as we can come together at the end, I think that's the name of the game. The only other thing I'd like to say is to the community at large is happy holidays and have a wonderful new year, safe, and we'll be back at it again come January. And on that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Moore.
Actually, we'll be back at it a little bit next Tuesday.
I was going to say, isn't the 15th?
That's a different kind of.
Absolutely. This has been an absolutely challenging year, and what we as a team have been through, as a district has been through, in moving through it, as I said earlier at workshop today, very excited about the path moving forward. And having the opportunity last Friday to speak with our district leaders, the theme was really lighting our path and speaking through the ability that we have as leaders to ensure that we're lighting a path and taking a courageous walk towards creating opportunities to transform the lives of students. And as we end this year, and I could say completely transparency, it was a year I never thought that I would have. But we are ending strong. And I think with the leadership of this board, the commitment of this cabinet, the dedication of our teachers and administrators and support staff, what we can do in this district truly is about creating a school system that all other school systems look at and all other school systems envy. And people from around the world want to be a member of the community of Indian River County because of the quality of education. That is what each of us should be proclaiming as we begin to look ahead. And I'll end this meeting the same way I ended the last meeting. The work that's going to come before this board in January and February of March truly is about lighting a path of creating a path forward on redesigning, recreating, and shifting and modifying a school system to meet the needs of all children in our county. And it's a very, very exciting work, and looking forward to engaging, connecting with everyone in the community to get that work done. Thank you.
That can be another logo, lighting a path. We love logos.
Hey, we just hung that one. It's going to stay for a while.
Yeah. All right. That's it, folks. As Bugs Bunny said, that's all, folks. Have a good evening. Meeting adjourned.